Now we're getting into the fun part of going around. We're going to have our dog go around multiple things in order to get a little bit more exercise. In order to do that, though, you're going to need a little bit more room. I went to my backyard, but if you don't have a backyard, you can do this on a drag line, and you can do it in public places. One of my favorite places to train dogs is in industrial parks. There's usually quite a bit of open ground, and no one's really there. You'll see that I'm letting Leica sniff around to her heart's content. This is called acclimation and is just letting her check out the environment before I ask her to do something hard. Some dogs take more than others. Merlin hardly needs anything in order to acclimate, particularly in the backyard. Leica, even though it's just the backyard, she needs some time to sniff around. When your dog has fully checked out the environment, then you can start working. But whenever you're in a harder or a new environment, always go back to the basics. So I start here really close to the cone, just asking for a simple around. Because we want this to be exercise, we want to have a little bit more speed. So one way to do that is to run away so your dog has to chase you. Now, the first time you do this, you're probably going to get a dog that doesn't know what to do. So start with just a little step backwards and see how they do. We want to work on our dogs being able to go around the cone even if we're not actively supporting them. So this is really important if you want to do agility or if you want to do multiple arounds in order to get your dog going. Basically, we want our dog to take the obstacle even if we're not directly there. So to start this, you can start with really cool reward placements. Now I'm using a lotus ball, which is just a toy that I got off Clean Run. I'll have a link. And that toy allows you to put a treat inside of it. When we're outside, food gets lost in the grass, so having something like a lotus ball is really helpful. So right here, I am working on being able to not have to be right next to the cone to support Merlin, and I can start going away. So you can see I'm throwing the lotus ball, so it's very likely that Merlin is still going to go around the cone because he's really interested in the ball and not as much in me. So if you see here, I am moving away, but he's focused on the ball, so he's going to still go around that cone. This is really great for helping dogs get some independence. It's called rewarding on the line if you're more interested in that and want to look into it for agility. So if your dog doesn't go around, what you're going to do is you're going to take a note of it, realize, okay, that was too hard for some reason. You can step closer. You can also try and cue again. The hardest part of this kind of work is figuring out where your dog's commitment point is. So you want to figure out when your dog is committed to going to that obstacle and you can start moving away. The best way to try and see this is to see what your dog is looking at. You can see here that Merlin is definitely looking at the cone and I can move away. If your dog pulls off when you move, that is okay. That is just information and you can use that in the future to try and improve your training.